Holy fuck, gang. Yo, I just saw some shit. They said you now have to have a job to get food stamps, gang. It's over.
SNAP now has new requirements as of February 3rd, this year, 2026, that you or one of your friends or family members may need to know about. Millions of Americans will be affected due to these changes. We've been worried about it all last year. You have to get a job. There are some that are excluded from that. I'm pretty sure you have an idea of what type of people that may be. If you are an able-bodied working individual, you have to get up and get a job moving forward to qualify for food stamps. Family, you already know what to do. And if you're brand new, 2 thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe and ring the post notification bell as well. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the requirements.
There are new requirements to receive SNAP benefits. The changes went into effect yesterday. Anyone between the ages of 18 and 64 who does not have a dependent under the age of 14 will be required to work or volunteer at least 80 hours every month in order to keep the benefits. Now, if you do not meet those qualifications or do not have an exemption, you may only get SNAP for 3 months over a 3-year period. Food pantries say they are expecting to see a surge in demand as a result.
So now if you're between the ages of 18 and 64 with the new requirements, so an adult below retirement age, and you don't have children under the age of 14, then you need to work for 20 hours a week to qualify for food stamps. These are not only reasonable requirements, but so minimal and so basic that they barely even count as requirements. And yet the Congressional Budget Office estimates that these bare minimum requirements will disqualify millions of people, because millions of people are on the dole, bilking the system, taking money out of your pocket while making no attempt to care for themselves and not even putting in the bare minimum.
The new requirements for SNAP, which is America's food stamp program, took effect on February 1st, and it impacts millions of Americans who receive benefits. Under the new requirements, able-bodied adults who don't have kids under the age of 14 are going to have to work at least 80 hours per month, which is pretty much 20 hours per week. These new requirements roll back a lot of pandemic-era waivers that were put in place because it was harder for people to find jobs during the pandemic. These changes were a part of the One Big Beautiful Bill, which was passed in 2025, and so far is Trump's only landmark piece of legislation.
Okay, if you live in New Mexico and you get food stamps, you're going to want to watch this video because the new requirements to keep those food stamps just kicked in yesterday. So if you're between the ages of 18 and 64 years old, you're going to need to be working a minimum of 20 hours per week to keep those food stamps, right? So that's either working, volunteering, or training for a job. But here's a list of people that don't have to meet those requirements. People experiencing homelessness, veterans, if you are a senior citizen receiving Social Security, if you are disabled, whether that is mentally or physically, if you are caring for a child under the age of 14, and if you are in drug rehab, you don't have to meet any of these guidelines to qualify. And the Medicaid requirements are pretty much the same. The only difference is if you are a female and you're pregnant, you don't have to meet any of those requirements to be able to participate in it. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comment section below. Share with one of your friends if you are on food stamps or they're on food stamps. Just let them know. Keep them in the loop. Guys, thank you so much for following. We'll see you tomorrow.
Now, here's the question you might have. Here's the question I have as well. What about those that are trying to get a job but just aren't able to get a job? Are they going to starve in the meantime while they're searching for a job in an already failing job economy that's laying off by the tens of thousands every single day, every single week, and not replacing those jobs with new working opportunities? What would happen to those people? Because that is the current reality. The current reality is AI, automation is replacing jobs. It's taking jobs. That's going to be normal soon. AI working instead of human beings. That's the real. So what will happen for those individuals that are in the job market just waiting month after month after month, year after year? I guess ultimately they'll be led down the path of homelessness and then they'll qualify. Technically. What do you guys think? Because that's where it seems like they'll end up. You can't pay your bills if you have no job. Then you qualify for food stamps as someone being homeless. I guess that's where it'll ultimately end up for a lot of people in America.
Go back and watch an old video of mine where I did a stitch where a lady who works for the man with the dead hand was basically like, groceries aren't that expensive. We ran thousands of simulations because we needed it to tell us the answers we wanted it to. And actually, you can get a corn tortilla, a piece of chicken, and a piece of broccoli for $3, and that's a meal. Okay? Ain't funny. I could tear down a fucking building. But I digress. That lady also made another video that says actually you can eat for $15 a day based on their thousands of simulations. That's 3 meals and a snack for $15 a day. Anywho, that's a distraction to the real buffoonery. Stick with me. This same lady got on TV and bragged about how they kicked off 1 point something million people off of SNAP. Why? SNAP is food stamps, basically. And the reason why she was happy about that is because they have a program that require you, once you're of age, up to age 64, you are required to work 80 hours a month. Mind you, there are plenty of people on food stamps who are disabled, who can't walk, who can't work. Okay, let's put that off to the side, even though we shouldn't, but for the purpose of this video, we will. I have another video where I talk about how in 2024 alone, they've only added roughly 500,000 jobs to the economy. When the going average 3 years before that was roughly 2 million jobs for the whole year, they've only added roughly 500,000. And that projection may go down as we get more numbers and they lower the estimated jobs that were added.
Right, because the numbers are always coming up short of their expectations, even though they know. How y'all gonna tell us 1 minute things are being leveraged towards technology and then act as if y'all are still trying to make more jobs? Y'all are trying to take the jobs away. Elon Musk been exposed that. The World Economic Forum has talked about it before. We all know this. We know they don't want us to work. They want us to depend on UBI, and that comes at what cost? One that I'm sure you don't want to pay.
So you're kicking these people off of obtaining food stamps and saying, go get a job and go work 80 hours a month when it's people who've been unemployed for 2-3 years, and you're throwing them into a job market where there are no jobs.
Right.
So can you really classify and label people lazy and not want to work when the people don't have any jobs to give them? You see how diabolical it is? But at the same time, this is what mainstream America needs to understand. Because I can't tell you how many people from my community get told we're lazy and we don't want to work and when we're the last one hired, the first one fired. Our economy is different than the mainstream economy. When they claim there was jobs, they wouldn't give us the jobs. Now y'all are getting a taste of that. Now y'all people in the Appalachians and the Kentuckys and all that who sat up here and voted for this shit, let's keep it a bean. Let's keep it a bean. Because you thought they was coming after people that look like me. Now they kicking you off food stamps. They kicking you off Medicaid and Medicare. When you was already in the shitter to begin with. Okay? Let's keep it a bean. Because it was their economic policies that pulled manufacturing out of where y'all lived and sent it over there to India and China.
Yep. Sent manufacturing overseas. Now we are the biggest consumerist nation, but we don't control nothing. We don't have any manufacturing industry. Not for real. Not one that'll make a lot of jobs for people that need them. No, that was sent overseas, having people do slave labor for our benefit monetarily, but it doesn't benefit society, our society. All right. I can't believe people are still saying that people are lazy and don't want to work. They are delusional if they're saying that. There are millions of Americans that want to work, would do any job, would do a job that's below their pay grade, below their educational expertise. They have badges, they got degrees, right? But they'll do any job. But still, they can't even get those jobs. People can't even get a McDonald's job right now. People struggling to get fast food jobs, factory jobs, letting go like crazy. The tech industry is suffering. Even Amazon, we already know they letting go a bunch of people because AI, the AI arms are about to be lifting and sending out packages and doing all of the heavy lifting. Walmart too.
And hence the reason why y'all depend on food stamps and Medicare and Medicaid. But they keep telling you that we your enemy when they're the ones that control the jobs that you can and cannot have. And they're the ones that control the stipulations of what qualify you to have food stamps, to have medical care. With your money, might I add, because these are tax dollars that the rich are not themselves paying, but the blue collar and the white collar workers themselves are.
Key fact. Let that sink in what you just said right there at the end. They're telling you what to do with your own money, basically. Oh, no, you don't qualify to get any of these funds that you contributed when you were working. When you were working, you contributed to these programs. But now that you lost your job, you don't get to benefit because you don't have a job. It's a wicked system, man. Let me know what y'all think about this video, family. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace to my Hebrew fam. Shalom.